Welcome to this week's recipe video. So it's Easter next week, so this week I'm going to bring you my favourite Easter recipe, chocolate nests. So I used to make these all the time when I was growing up, but traditionally they are made with a lot of unhealthy fat and a lot of refined sugar. So I finally created a recipe that is a healthier version but tastes as delicious. So I'm going to be using cacao powder to make it chocolatey. This is my favourite brand, and because it's raw, it basically comes straight from the cacao bean and it goes through very, very little processing in order to maintain its nutrients. So it's packed with antioxidants and it's packed with plenty of minerals like iron and magnesium, so that's a really good thing to have. We're going to be getting a lot of health benefits from that. And then to top my chocolate nest, I'm going to be using a raspberry coconut cream, which tastes amazing. It makes them really indulgent and also very, very pretty as well. So let's get started. I have got a very special guest here, my sister Catie, who is a rally driver. She's not the most enthusiastic cook. So
I'm spoiled by living in a house with you. That's fine.
They're great fun to make with your family, your friends, your kids, and they are absolutely foolproof. So we're going to start off with some coconut oil and we're going to melt it. So you can put that in there. Okay. So coconut oil is a really healthy fat, but also this is what's going to make our chocolate cakes go hard and solidify in the fridge. So there you go, you can have a spoon. So when you're buying coconut oil, it's quite important to get a cold pressed extra virgin coconut oil because it's a better quality. So once it is completely melted and completely liquid like that, we're going to add in our peanut butter, so you can put that in. So peanut butter, I think peanut butter and chocolate are the best combination ever. But obviously if you can't eat nuts, you're allergic or something like that, then you can just leave it out and it will work just as well.
It smells good.
Yeah, it's so nice. So then I'm going to add in some of our cacao powder, which we spoke about earlier.
That looks like I've done it wrong at the minute, doesn't it?
So it will all combine when you mix it together, it's fine. You heat it on a low heat and you keep mixing because otherwise the peanut butter will stick to the bottom, so that's your job. No pressure. There you go, so there's some maple syrup, so I'm putting maple syrup in now to give it a lovely sweetness. Maple syrup is a really lovely, light, unrefined alternative to sugar, so that's really good to use, but obviously you can adjust the quantity to your taste, so if you like them a bit sweeter you can add a little bit more in. And then I'm going to add a pinch of salt because personally I feel like salted kind of caramel, salted chocolate is just the best invention. This is now the most incredible gooey mess, like that would be
just your dream
to eat with it. Yeah, definitely, I would do that with a spoon. Okay, so we're not going to though, we're going to add the rest of our ingredients. So I'm going to start off with my spelt flakes. So I'm using spelt flakes because they are, you eating it?
No, I smell it.
So these are 100% whole grain spelt, so they've got nothing nasty added to them. My favourite brand is this Root Health, it's a really good brand. So I'm going to put these into the bowl. My favourite thing with these kind of chocolate gooey treats is that when you add sultanas, it's like a burst of caramel, which is gorgeous. So I'm going to add those in, and then we're going to pour over our chocolatey mixture.
Moment of truth.
No pressure.
I might leave a little bit in there so I can just lick
it with it. That is the best part of cooking.
That's the only part I like about baking.
So then we're going to mix this in, yeah. So you fold all of that in. You don't want to crunch them too much, so just try and fold it.
Is this the point when we test it?
Not yet, no. So you really want to make sure that they're completely coated. Have I got chocolate on my face?
No, bye.
Okay, so now they are ready to go into the muffin tray. So you just need a baking tray and then you can just fill them with little cupcake cases, and we're going to share our mixture between the cupcake cases.
I think I actually prefer them when they're hot like this, just eating the mixture.
That is the goal. You've got to try and not eat all of the mixture before you put them in the fridge and set them.
I remember on my first couple of events, you used to ship me off with like, what were they, healthy Mars bars or something like that?
Healthy, and what was the other thing that I used to do?
Beetroot brownies.
Beetroot brownies, that was it, yeah.
They used to be so good, like a little burst of energy. I took them with me in my rally suitcase, didn't I? I packed them, they were the blame.
Has it made an impact the way you eat now? Has that made an impact?
Yeah, definitely. Mostly because you cook most of the time, so I don't have a say. But then I do notice actually the difference I feel when I then go and eat unhealthily, or if I go when I'm driving in a different country, if we go to a restaurant that's maybe not that healthy, I actually notice the difference of how I feel big time afterwards.
Yeah. So. What about the taste? Do you think the taste is
as good? At first, I never used to find the sweet things that you made very sweet, but then as my taste adjusted now, they're like perfect, and they don't make you feel ill afterwards. Like, I could never eat dark chocolate before, but now I actually like the taste of dark chocolate.
But I think it's something that also, when you're in that transition, you don't have to punish yourself. So you can add, if you like things a bit sweeter, like I said, you could add more maple syrup to.
It's healthy sugars, isn't it?
Yeah, I haven't paid her to say this either. So you're just going to push down to kind of create a slight well in the centre. You want them to kind of be quite compact so that they set nicely and they don't go crumbly.
They're going to have some sticky then.
Okay, so they are done. So we're going to put those into the freezer now until they set and go nice and hard, and then we'll get on with our toppings. Now we're going to make the coconut cream topping. So I don't think you've ever seen me do this, have you?
No, I've tasted it.
Yeah.
It tastes like Angel Delight.
No, it tastes much nicer than
No, it does. It tastes fresh, but that's what it looks like.
Okay, so to make the coconut cream, you take a normal can of coconut milk and put it in the fridge overnight, because it brings the kind of hard layer of cream. It separates the coconut water from the coconut cream in the coconut milk. So then you kind of get this hard layer on the top. So I'm just gonna scoop out the hard cream.
A lot of it is creamy. Is that how you make a curry as well?
No, so the coconut milk I usually put the whole, if I'm making a curry or a soup or something, I usually put the whole thing in. But this is great for like topping cakes and for making kind of any alternative to cream. So then you're left with just the kind of watery substance at the bottom. So you can put that in the fridge and keep it to make smoothies or to throw into soups. And then we're just going to whisk this like you would normal whipped cream. So it should only really take a couple of minutes. So that's the cream done and ready. So you can see that it's kind of nice and fluffy and light. So then we're going to mash some raspberries. So I'm using fresh raspberries because it's going to give it an amazing colour, but it's also going to give it a real kind of...
trying to work out how that sits up.
And it's also going to give it a really kind of flavoursome punch. So pop those in. So you just mash them until they get really smooth, like a nice kind of puree. So we're going to add this to our cream. If you wanted to sweeten it, you could add maple syrup or something like that to make it a bit sweeter, but actually the coconut cream is very naturally sweet anyway because of the taste of it, and then the raspberries are quite sweet as well. So you're going to whisk this up again and it's going to go beautiful and pink. So now we're going to ice them. So we're going to put a little dollop of our raspberry cream on the top.
Not as artistic as you are at this.
This is foolproof, you could definitely do this.
No,
and then
never have been.
And then I'm going to sprinkle some desiccated coconut over the top to make it look even kind of more nest-like.
That's nice.
And then we can pop a raspberry or however many you like on the top, so that can be like our little eggs. You forgot the desiccated coconut.
Oh god. That's where it all goes wrong. You let me in it too.
You can have multiple eggs in that nest.
Oh, they look so pretty. I won.
So there they are, these lovely little healthy alternatives to a chocolate nest. So now you can eat them.
I might have this one now, yeah?